Hi everyone, welcome back to the another video. Today in this video, we are going to learn counting of accumulated profits or losses and reserves. As you know that we are studying change in profit sharing ratio. Suppose at the time of change in profit sharing ratio, if there is any accumulated profit or loss given in the books of accounts, then what would be happen? How you will treat these accumulated profits or losses? First of all, you have to understand that what is the concept of accumulated profit. Accumulated profit means it is undistributed profit or losses, whichever will be given, of the previous year. It means before changing in profit sharing ratio, whatever the profits you had earned, all these profit or losses are known as accumulated profit, means undistributed profit. These profits are such that this has not been distributed among the partners. Now we have to distribute this profit among the partners in old profit sharing ratio. Remember the point here, accumulated profit will always be distributed among old ratio, not the new ratio, because you have earned these profits or losses before changing in profit sharing ratio, before the reconstitution of the firm. Now what would be happen here? If profit is given, then what entry we will pass? If profit is given, then we will pass the entry profit and loss account debit to all partners capital or current account, whichever is mentioned about the partner's capital account. If partner's capital account is fixed, then it will be used partner's current account, and if partner's capital account is fluctuating, then it will be used partner's capital account. So here, if the profit and loss account balance is a credit, it means it is profit, and if the profit and loss account balance is debit, that means it is loss. So if it is profit, here we can write in case of profit. In case of profit, this entry we will pass. In case of loss, in case of loss in the sense the profit and loss account balance will be given debit here, not credit. If it is loss, then what entry we will pass? Just opposite entry we will pass here. All partners capital account debit or current account debit, all partners capital or current account debit to profit and loss account. Here we will distribute all these profits or losses into old profit sharing ratio, not the new profit sharing ratio. Remember this point, we will distribute this accumulated profits or losses in the old ratio, not the new ratio, because these are the profits or losses before the reconstitution of the partnership, not the after reconstitution of the partnership. If it will be after the reconstitution of the partnership, or if there will be any changes after the reconstitution of the partnership, it means then we will distribute that expense or not, then we will distribute that profits or losses among the new profit sharing ratio. So this is all about the accumulated profits or losses. Now come to the next topic, which is a reserve. This is very important topic for examination point of view, and this topic, accumulated profits or losses and reserves, like this, all these topics you will study again and again in the admission of a partnership firm, retirement of a partnership firm, death of a partnership firm. All these entries will be as it is there also. Now see here, what is reserve? As we know that reserve is the amount which is keep aside out of profit for the future benefit. Here we will understand the three types of reserve. First one is general reserve, workmen compensation reserve, and third one is investment fluctuation reserve. Here we will understand three types of reserve. First one is general reserve, second workmen compensation reserve, and third investment fluctuation reserve. General reserve, it means it is a free reserve which is used at the time of change in profit sharing ratio in a manner to decide by the parties. It means it can be used anywhere, any types of compensation, any types of reimbursement. We can use this reserve, which is general reserve. If it is given before the reconstitution of the partnership form, then what treatment we will do? This type of reserve will be distributed among the partners in old profit sharing ratio. It means what entry you will pass here? We will pass here for general reserve. We will pass the entry general reserve account debit to all partners capital or current account. We will distribute this in old ratio, not the new profit sharing ratio. So this is the treatment of reserve, because this is general reserve. This reserve can be used freely for any purpose. Now, if we talk about the second type of reserve, which is workmen compensation reserve. Now, the second type of reserve is workmen compensation reserve. This is a specific reserve, not the general reserve, because this reserve has been created for any specific purpose, not the general purpose. So, the workmen compensation reserve is a reserve which is set aside out of profits to meet the possible claim of compensation payable to employees. And this reserve will also be distributed among the partners in old profit sharing ratio. It will depends on situation. The workers may claim for their compensation, and workers may not claim for their compensation. Suppose you are running a company whose name is ABC Limited, like this. In your company, 100 workers are working. At a time, two workers come to you and they ask about their compensation of rupees 10,000, like this, because he has any emergency case with him or with their family. Now, what you will do? Because in business, we calculate profit or losses at the end of the year. So, for these purposes, if any worker will demand few amount in case of emergency, in case of any unexpected circumstances, in case of any unexpected situations, he comes to you and demand, boss, please give me 10,000, 20,000, like this. Then what you will do? So to resolve these problems, the business create a reserve with the name of worker, which reserve is workmen compensation reserve. If any worker will claim, then from this amount of reserve, the business will pay to him. Now, here may be the situation that claim may be exist or claim may not be exist. It will depends upon the workers. Here the first entry that we will have to pass when claim against when claim against workmen compensation reserve doesn't exist. If claim against workmen compensation reserve does not exist, if workers do not claim, in this situation, how you will treat this reserve? Because you have already made the reserve, then how you will treat this reserve? In this situation, you have to do that this reserve will be distributed among the partners as it is. Workmen compensation reserve account debit to all partners, capital or current account. All partners, capital or current account. In which profit sharing ratio? In old ratio. Remember this. All these reserves will be distributed in old ratio, not the new profit sharing ratio. Now, the second point is that when the claim against workmen compensation reserve exists, this will be the second case. When claim against workmen compensation reserve exists, in this situation, what we will do? Here, there may be three situations. The first situation will be that when the workmen compensation claim amount is equal to the workmen compensation reserve amount. And the second case may be that when the workmen compensation claim amount is less than the workmen compensation reserve amount. And the third case may be that if the workmen compensation claim amount is more than the workmen compensation reserve amount. So, in this situation, here may be three cases. Now, first we will talk about case A. What would be happen in case A? Workmen compensation claim is equal to the amount of workmen compensation reserve. If workmen compensation claim amount is equal to the amount of workmen compensation reserve, then what would be happen? Suppose, just for example, you have created a reserve of rupees 10,000 for workmen compensation reserve, and your worker is claiming of rupees 10,000. Claim amount is also rupees 10,000. Then what would be happen? All the reserve amount will be adjusted with the workmen compensation claim amount. So here we will make the entry workmen compensation reserve account debit to workmen compensation claim account. Here the amount will be adjusted. You can write the narration that being workmen compensation claim adjusted. But if in second case workman compensation claim is less than. Here the point is equal to the amount of workman compensation reserve. If we talk about the second case, it means here the amount of workman compensation is less than the amount of workman compensation reserve. Then what would be happen? Suppose you have created a reserve of rupees 10,000. Your worker is claiming only for 8,000, not 10,000. In this situation, what would be happen? In this situation, the claim amount will be adjusted with the workman compensation reserve amount, and the balance amount of reserve will be credited to the partner's capital or workman compensation reserve account debit to workman compensation claim account to partners capital or current account. This entry we will pass. Workman compensation reserve account debit to workman compensation claim account to partners capital or current account. Because here the claim amount is less than the reserve amount. If the claim amount is less than the reserve amount, it means your reserve balance will be distributed among the partners. And now the third case will be workman compensation claim is more than the amount of workman compensation reserve. Here what would be happen? Here in this situation, if workman compensation claim amount is more than the reserve amount, more than the reserve amount, it means here you have created reserve of rupees 15,000, just for example, and your claim amount is 20,000. It means your claim amount is more than 5,000 from the reserve amount. Then in this situation, what you will do? If it is less than, then what we are doing? We are crediting the partner's capital account, the remaining balance. And if it is more than, then partner's capital account will be debit here. It means we will make the entry workman compensation reserve account debit, revaluation account debit, to workman compensation claim account. Claim account. Suppose here your reserve balance was how much? 15,000, like this. And your claim balance is how much? 20,000. Then 5,000 will be written here as a revaluation account. And if the revaluation account is debit, it means it will be distributed among the partners as a loss. So here two entry you will have to make. This is the first entry, and second entry you will have to pass that partners capital or current account debit to revaluation account. It means this revaluation amount will be distributed among the partners or debited from the partners capital account. This is all about the cases of workmen compensation reserve.